award honours bravery above and beyond the call of duty displayed by members of the emergency services. And this year's winners perfectly embody that quality. To explain more, here's ITV News anchor Mark Austin.
Over the years, I've covered many stories where emergency services workers put their lives on the line. It is what they do. But earlier this year, 3 air ambulance medics were called to a particularly dangerous incident, when normally special training would be required.
If they'd just followed the rule book and stepped away, no one would have blamed them. But such was their desire to help the victims in this horrific accident that was something they were simply not prepared to do.
On the 2nd of June this year, 2 carriages collided on the Smiler roller coaster at the Alton Towers theme park in Staffordshire.
Oh my God.
16 people were trapped, stuck 25 feet up in the air. The worst of the impact was felt in the front of one of the carriages. All of the passengers were critically injured, some fighting for their lives. 2 air ambulance medics, David Cooper and Tom Waters, were scrambled from RAF Cosford and made their way 20 miles to the scene.
The only information we really had was that it was an incident on a roller coaster.
Their colleague, Ben Clark, travelled by road.
I was given updates and was told that actually this was a very serious accident.
On arriving at the scene, the true magnitude of what had happened quickly became apparent.
The scene was truly devastating.
First thing I noticed was blood dripping from underneath the roller coaster.
There's people who are in a lot of danger or essentially needed our care.
But there was a serious problem. The 3 medics did not have the formal rope training to work at height.
If we didn't climb up onto the platform and go onto the carriage, certainly 2 of them would have died. We basically had to bring the hospital to the patients, doctors, blood.
The 3 medics decided to defy health and safety rules and climb up, even ignoring orders from a senior officer.
The instruction was given by me that they need to come down. They could have fallen. They definitely did put themselves at risk, and I'm very clear that in any other circumstances, I wouldn't have allowed that to happen.
The front 4 passengers and the most seriously injured were Daniel Thorpe, Victoria Balch, Joe Pugh, and his girlfriend Leah Washington.
When I looked down at my legs, all the skin was pushed back and that I could feel bone. I realised it weren't good. On my right leg, the blood was just pouring.
Very clear that the 2 girls were the most severely injured with devastating leg injuries.
Leah was probably the sickest patient. She had all the classic signs of someone who was peri-arrest, near to death.
Leah needed a blood transfusion.
It's phenomenally rare to give blood on scene. If we hadn't got that blood, I genuinely think she'd have died.
They were just talking to us and reassuring us and just making sure we're all right, really.
All 4 patients were finally removed from the ride and taken to hospital. Due to the severity of their injuries, Leah and Victoria later each had a leg amputated.
They were all absolutely amazing. They risked their lives by getting on the ride. All I can really say is thank you. There's no other way I can thank them. They were just incredible and they really deserve this award.
Ladies and gentlemen, presenting to incredibly brave medics, Tom Waters, Major Dr. David Cooper and Dr. Ben Clark. That was quite something.
Yeah, seeing it again, seeing Leah, Vicky, pretty special. I think on the day, we've all just said how amazing they were, actually, how brave they were. I don't think we'd have coped if they hadn't coped so well.
Would you agree, Tom?
Yeah, completely. I think the ways, especially the 2 girls, were on that day is a credit to themselves, and I think we've discussed this between us, that we've never met 2 braver girls.
So, David, I have to ask you about this never-ending system, breaking health and safety rules. Good? bad on this occasion. Brilliant.
Well, I think, speaking on behalf of all three of us, that we were just really a small part of a huge operation that day, and we played a small part, and I think we're accepting this award on behalf of the whole of the West Midlands Ambulance Service, the heart specialist paramedics and the fire and rescue. Without them, we wouldn't have been able to do what we did. And also just a special thank you also to our pilot Graham, who actually flew our helicopter to the hospital to pick up blood that the girls desperately needed. So I think we were just a small part of a huge operation.
Well, here to present you with your award, a man who also owes his life to the skills of an air ambulance team, Richard Hammond, together with one of the few cars he's never actually driven, Jimmy Carr.
I'm not often lost for words, but it's pretty heroic stuff, isn't it? You literally went above and beyond the call of duty. You couldn't be more irresponsible. Well played. And of course, as a member of the public, you never think you're going to need the emergency services.
On occasion, you do need them. Trust me.
100% your fault when that happened.
I was asking for it, yeah, but these guys weren't. And that's the point. In normal life, when none of us expect for a second to need you guys. But then one day we do, and when we do, we are so glad that out there waiting are some real, live heroes like you.
It isn't over just yet, because there are some people who want to say a special thank you to you. It's three of the wonderful young people whose lives you saved that day. Please welcome Leah Washington, Vicky Balch and Joe Pugh. So we heard from you, Vicky, we heard from you, Leah, in the film. Joe, would you like to say anything?
Yeah, we can't thank you enough for what you've done.
I think on behalf of all of us, I can't say thank you enough for everything that you've done. I think if it wasn't for everyone there, and especially you guys, we wouldn't be here today.
Okay. Cheers. Coming on and saying what you have. We really do appreciate it, and I'm sure you do too.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a credit to yourselves to come on today. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Well, thank you very much. Thank you, Vicky. Thank you, Leah. And thank you, Joe. And to you two naughty boys in the back there, but most of all, congratulations to our brave medics, David, Ben and Tom.